Hello, guys. Hi, this is Ganesh Nyak. I help finance professionals and students to excel in their career. And I also help students preparing for competitive exams like CFA, FRM, and HCR. Today, we have with us one of our students who has been able to clear the CFA Level 1 exam in the Feb 2024 attempt. And he's going to be talking about his journey, about preparing for the exam, clearing the exam, and the challenges that he faced. Okay. So we have with us Nipurn. So, Nipurn, thank you very much for taking out time and talking to us. And for the benefit of the audience, if you can tell, okay, your status before you started preparing for the CFA exam.
Okay, so thank you, sir, for having me once again. So, hi everybody, I am Nipurn. I am a second year undergraduate student of St. Xavier's College, Kolkata. So, to begin with, sir, I would like to take a few steps back and take you towards the time when my FRM Part 1 results were just out. So, it
Hmm.
was the first week of July 2023. So
Right.
that was when we had a discussion over call that how appearing for CFL level 1 makes sense for me. And I remember, so without thinking much, I just registered for the exam and I started my preparation because it was always in my hindsight that yes, I will appear for the CFA exams. So
Okay.
I started
Okay.
my preparation, I guess, initially in the month of July, but
Mhm.
I started in full form in the month of August.
Okay. Okay. And with respect to, so you were also going through college and all, right, throughout the day.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how much time was getting blocked in college, and then how much time on a daily basis you were giving for the CFA prep?
Okay. So I had a morning college. So my college gets over at roughly at 10 and I'm able to devote a good 2 to 3 hours on a daily basis because I had other commitments as well at that time. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say that initially in the month of August till November, I had a good 3 to 4 months. At that time, I covered the majority of the syllabus because
Okay.
in November I had my semester examinations.
Hmm.
So to start off with, I started my preparation with derivatives. So I'll give you the flow. So I started with derivatives. I
Okay.
then went ahead and I think it was fixed income. Then it was
Mm-hmm.
quants.
Okay.
Then it was corporate issuers, CI. Then it was economics. And then it went on, it was AI, portfolio management, and
Okay.
FSA. And lastly, so it was ethics. So
Okay.
till November, it was manageable. But in
And
November, I had my semester examinations.
any reason you took derivatives and then you said fixed income, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So any reason you started with that?
Yeah, yeah. I remember, sir, because I had in FRM, I had covered some of the topics, so it was very beneficial for me to start off with the topics which I was already familiar with.
Right.
So it helped me a lot because I would not like to put a quantitative figure as to how much percentage of the syllabus was similar to that of CFA, but I would say yes, a fair amount of syllabus is similar to FRM.
Right.
That's
Right.
that's all.
So generally your derivative, fixed income, you have your portfolio management and quant.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
these three, four books generally are quite similar. And there are
Overlapping.
obviously
Yeah.
overlapping, but there are new topics also like FSA, right?
Yes, yes,
Then
yes.
you have economics, ethics also, which you have not done in your
Before.
FRM. So how did you manage to tackle those three, four books?
Yes. So, fairly, sir, for my preparation, I had your video lectures, I had Swagger materials, I had the question banks of CFA and your Fintelligents portal as well. So, it was manageable for me. It was pretty comfortable. I was pretty comfortable. I would say one major disaster which I made throughout my preparation was with ethics because I remember till mid of December, I had completed everything, the first reading, the first revision, and solving of the few initial questions. So
Okay.
after the mid of December, I directly went ahead and solved the questions of ethics. That was the major disaster because I
Okay.
terribly failed at that. Because if I remember precisely, out of 20 questions, I was only able to get 4 to 5 correct. And I had a discussion with you on how I should again go back and do ethics. So I remember you guided me to watch the lectures first. Don't be over smart. Go and watch the lectures. Read the Swagger materials. Read the CFA Institute books and read the case studies which are there. So I
Right.
remember till the first week of January, I was just reading ethics. I was majorly devoting time towards ethics, and the remaining part I was revising other things as well. So to give
Okay.
you a sense, on the New Year's Eve, I was reading how Mr. X, working in an ABC corporation, he violated the codes, what major disasters he made, and
Okay.
that's
Okay.
all.
Wonderful. And so basically by December, you had completed all the reading, watching the video, reading the textbook, and also solving of the questions for those
Yes,
chapters,
yes,
is it? And you
yes,
solved
yes, yes,
institute chapter wise the quiz.
yes, yes. I solved that as well.
Okay. Okay. So fairly one reading full. So basically, when you were solving those end of the chapter questions, you were also revising the chapter and then solving. Correct?
No, no, because the very first time which I read the Swagger material and I watched your lecture, I was simultaneously going and solving the questions in
Okay.
both in hand. Yeah, I was not piling up the questions for the end
Okay. Okay.
because I had your questions. I remember I had your questions, so I was pretty comfortable solving the CFA questions first and then going
So you
and solving the question of your tutor. Yeah.
okay, okay. So roughly, you must have done two readings till December while watching the
Yes.
video and then solving the chapter, correct? Okay,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
okay. And then you tackled ethics. And by the first week of January, what was your confidence level in ethics?
So so I was pretty much because after reading the content of ethics, I again went back and solved the questions of ethics. So I remember
Hmm.
at that time, I hardly got any questions wrong. So it was that good. So
Okay, okay,
I was pretty much comfortable with that.
okay. And then from after the first week of January, what was your strategy? What were you doing?
Yes, yes. So I remember my exam was on 21st of Feb.
Hmm.
So I had a good amount of time. So what I did was, I remember in January itself, you had added a whole new set of questions for us on the portal. So I, without wasting any time, I went and solved those questions as well. So I was devoting majority of my time towards practicing more questions and revising a little bit of less. So till February, I would say I was just practicing, practicing, practicing. In February, what I did,
For all the
I start
books. For all the
yes,
books.
all the books and
Okay,
each chapter, not only just the books or the
okay,
major topics, but each and every chapter.
okay, okay,
And in the February, I had specifically I had 20 days, around 20 days to go and solve the mock exams. So what I did was initially I thought that I would only solve the two mocks which you get from the CFA Institute.
hmm.
But seeing that I had so much time, so what I did was I went ahead and solved the remaining of the mocks which are on our portal, which are which is in the
Okay,
Fintelligents portal.
okay,
So in total, I had solved around five mocks, two from the
okay.
CFA Institute and three from our portal.
Hmm. Okay. And then
And
what was the average accuracy you were getting in those mocks?
so, so to be very precise, it was close to 85%. Close.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Because normally students get around 70, 75%. That is the accuracy which people get when you're doing mocks.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
when you went to the actual exam date, okay, so I'm assuming that you did not have the pressure of getting into a competitive exam because you've already given FRM level one, correct? So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
in this, but the pattern is very different because you have two exams in a day.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes.
how did you manage that pattern?
Okay. So, as you mentioned that there are two sessions. So the two sessions are of 2 hours and 15 minutes each, and in between you get an optional break of 30 minutes. So so I on the exam date it was pretty normal for me, as you mentioned that I have already experienced that background. So I was pretty comfortable. The environment was also very friendly, and for both the sessions, I would say that I'd completed my exams before time because I had already gone through the experience of mock exams at my home. So time was
Okay,
not an issue for me. In the first session, you get questions from ethics, quants, uh, CI, FSA, and economics, and the rest you get in the second session.
right,
So, what I would like to point out is that in the middle, you get a 30 minutes optional break. So, that is very important because you have to strategically determine what you will do in those 30 minutes. So for
Hmm.
me, I had taken 5 to 10 minutes off just to relax. And
Okay.
because I had experienced major disasters before this, when I in my home when I was preparing for the mock examinations, because in the first mock examination which I took at home, I remember for the 30 minutes I went out, I was roaming in my home, I was revising
Right.
the Swagger again. So it hampered my flow. So I understood this, and from the next time, what I did was I
Okay.
focused only on relaxing a little bit, and then again going back and solving the second session instantly. Because the flow which you create in the first session, it is very important for you to maintain that flow.
Okay.
And if you break that flow in between, it is very, you know, I would say it would take a little bit of time to again come back to that flow.
So basically, you are suggesting that don't read the content in between.
No, 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 no,
Okay, because this is what a lot of people do. They will revise the formulas, they will revise the concept.
no. No,
Okay.
so the mistakes which you're pointing out, I have already done those mistakes in my home. So I knew
Okay.
that if I'm doing this on the exam day, it would be a disaster for me. So I did not focus on reading or revising the content on that day. I just
Okay.
focused on relaxing a little bit. Then again, going back and maintaining that flow is very important for the
And the
second session as well.
time that we you had in the exam, so you did not face any issue with respect to time also, in the sense you were not able to complete questions and all. That was also done properly.
Uh, so if I remember correctly, in the first session, after reviewing the flagged questions and after revising the questions, I had 10 minutes left.
Okay.
So it was normal for me. In the second session as well, I had 15 to 20 minutes in my hand. So time was not an
Okay,
issue for
great,
me.
great. Then when you came out of the exam, what was the thought process? I mean, what was the confidence level for you?
Okay, so because sir, to be very honest, I was aiming for 90 percentile before exams. So I was confident that yeah, I might clear the exam, but I was little, you know, not confident enough to get 90 percentile. But to be very honest, sir, I did not focus on the result. I did not focus on the exam because after coming out of the exam hall, I was now in pressure of preparing for FRM Part 2, which I had
Okay.
to prepare and appear for in this year.
Right.
So I did not think about the results as such.
Okay. Now, one quick question: which book you found very tough in your preparation out of the 10 books, 10 subjects, basically?
To be very honest, sir, initially I found FSA a little bit of tough. Ethics was manageable, and rest I have gone through before. Equity, I would say it was new to me, so equity you can take. But on an overall basis, sir, everything was easy and everything was manageable for me because I had ample amount of time. I had gone through your lectures. I had read the content properly. I have solved the questions also very diligently. So it was not an issue for me. For
And
level one,
for
it was not an issue for me.
okay, for any topic, did you went and read from the CFA Institute book?
Yes, ethics, sir. Only
Acha,
ethics.
ethics.
I read everything from the CFA material itself because I was panicked at
Hmm.
that time. So
Okay.
I read
Okay.
everything. Yeah.
So now for the audience, if for the audience, if you can give 3 tips on how to prepare for CFA level 1 exam.
Okay. So the very first tip which I would like to give is you have to start early and you have to be consistent with your preparation.
Hmm.
So it would help you to complete the syllabus in time and you can solve the questions before time. Like in my case, I had ample amount of time to solve the mocks properly, review my mistakes, and if you like me, like the disaster which I made with ethics, if you are facing similar things, you have time to again come back on track. So it is very important to start early and be consistent. The second one would be to solve more questions. So basically, while revising, how much time will you revise the same content? So it is very important to solve as many questions as possible because it will not only help you in boosting your confidence, but it will also help you in gaining a lot more clarity around the concepts.
Hmm.
And lastly, I would say, and this is very important. Yeah, I remember this. So you have to be smart while preparing. Only hard
Okay.
work will not do. By this, what I mean is there are certain weightages around the topics which are assigned by the CFA Institute.
Right.
Now, I'm not implying that you should only focus on the topics which are of higher weightages. By this, what I mean is, while preparing, you should keep in mind that yes, this topic is containing this much weightage, and I should put a little bit more efforts in this topic. So it
Okay.
would be very beneficial for you.
Okay. So basically, plan your preparation smartly.
Yes,
That
yes.
way. Wonderful, wonderful. So, I mean, thank you, Nipun, for talking to us and giving an insight on your journey for clearing the exam. So, few advantages that you had time. So, you're in your college going, so you were able to dedicate good amount of time. But at the same time, you also had the pressure of reading something new, like the
Yes.
FSA, ethics and economics, and especially the ethics thing that you talked about is going to be very helpful for people who find ethics tough because they read a lot but they end up not solving a lot of questions with respect to ethics, which is the key for clearing that subject. So now, when the results are out, what is the uh, feedback of people around you who have seen you preparing for the exam?
Okay. So when my results were out, so my family was pretty much chill about it because they knew that, yeah, the boy has worked hard. So my family was pretty much normal. My friends were also very happy because they have seen me studying late at night and I would avoid going to parties and all. So they were also very happy that finally he had done something good. And because, sir, I was not focusing on the result as such, I am also telling you now that yes, I have cleared the examination, but it is nothing as such because now I have more pressure to again appear for CFA Level 2 examination for that matter, or FRM Part 2, which I'm appearing in this August
Right,
cycle.
right. And I'm sure you're going to be clearing the FRM level 2 exam also. And thank you very much again for taking out time and talking to the audience and giving an insight on your journey for the clearing exam. Thank you very much, Nipu.
Okay, sir. Thank you.